Johnny, Daniel, Chosen, and the combined forces of Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do are back on Netflix for Season 6 of Cobra Kai. Now, this is Part 1, with Part 2 coming in November, and then a finale event arriving in 2025. So get your gis ready, let's jump in. With Cobra Kai eliminated from the Valley, the senseis and students must decide if and how they will compete in the Sekai Taikai, the World Championships of Karate. So Part 1 features 5 episodes, and the season starts off in a somewhat rough and cheesy way. The first episode, the entire production looks very polished and clean, just very sterile, with stiff performances, removing passion or drive from the characters and the story. There's even a point where a sort of inspirational monologue begins, and we see all of the characters just standing at attention, looking wistfully, without any movement, their arms at their sides, really just a general lack of vibrance in their emotions. Now, thankfully, this stoic sterility, it goes away, and the series falls more in line with the familiar beats and interactions that have made this so much fun in the past. Now, because of the events that took place in Season 5, there's a reduced amount of drama between all the students. The animosity isn't 100% gone, but it is noticeably lessened. It's kind of nice to see them working together more than against each other. And this also provides new opportunities for different character interactions. Instead of the constant bickering that was becoming the norm, the kids, they're mainly getting along, and the only real drama between people is because the man-children can't let go of their egos long enough to just stick to some sort of agreement. So far in this season, we haven't gotten an epic fight like the one that took place inside the school that ended with a broken back, but we do get at least one exciting and well-choreographed fight in each episode. Now, sometimes there's more than one, but each one is captured well, not solely relying on quick cuts to increase momentum, but really showcasing the moves that the kids or their stunt doubles are performing. They're quick, fierce, even painful looking. But that's in stark contrast to when we watch any aggression take on a physical manifestation between the adults. Now, because William Zabka, Ralph Macchio, and Yuji Okamoto are all in or almost in their 60s, their moves are slow and much less realistic looking. Now, I don't really fault them for this because they still move way more fluidly than I can. Also, it's just a good thing that most of the fighting and the action takes place between the young cast. That allows them to capture the intensity and brutality of a hand-to-hand fight. The plot progression in this is very predictable, and it features an absolute ton of story and character conveniences. Now, a few key moments rely on characters being able to do a specific act or go to a certain location. And if we followed the logic of the previous storylines, these would be next to impossible to achieve. But I don't know about you, but I don't watch this for the ultra-tenacious adherence to logic. I mean, I want some comedy, some suspense or drama, and then a ton of enjoyable and fierce fights. That's what the show delivers. And yeah, this is very much a soap opera. So many of the character decisions aren't thought out and then blown way out of proportion just for the sake of the dramatic arc. But there's so much charisma floating around that it's difficult to not be sucked into it. Now, just like in most of the other seasons, this one features an opportunity for at least one character to make some major mistakes, observe the consequences, and then ideally make a change for the better. Because this is only half a season, I don't know if this one character that I'm thinking of is going to actually see their errors and then work to correct it. I mean, I like the unease that comes with this character's choices. There's a moment of realization that feels believable, showing us that, at least for now, they haven't lost their humanity because they can still feel just the tiny pangs of remorse or guilt. Now, William Zabka continues to be my favorite in the show, thanks to his everyman type of characterization of Johnny. I mean, there are still a ton of terrible decisions being made by him, but I love that we've seen continuous growth season over season, so that he's not the same knuckle-dragging mouth breather that he was at the start of the show. I mean, he's still screwing up, and his machismo can occasionally get in the way, but we also get to see an earnest attempt to make the best decisions. These end up creating either sweet or funny situations, even if he's cringing at the outcome of them. Now, for as silly and inconceivable as some of this show is, the sweetness and the charm of its core has been maintained throughout. And we see it fully at play in Season 6. I mean, while we can pretty much continuously predict the trajectories and the outcomes of each episode, the show does allow for some suspenseful areas where our heroes may not succeed as we'd like. I think that this then reinforces the character growth that we watch play out. Each of the kids or adults just having to rally from a setback and then improve themselves from where they fell short, whether that be in attitude, behavior, or skill. The redemptive arcs are still present and they're effective, providing us with a plethora of characters to root on in their transformations. But with all these things that I do appreciate and enjoy about the series, I am glad that we're approaching the finish line. And there are only so many rivalries that this show can dredge up or concoct before the formulaic nature just becomes unbearable. And while we're not quite at that point, it is better to go out on a positive than during a miserable fiery crash of a poop season. And this season, it curiously introduces a small mystery angle into the storyline. I'm not exactly sure where they're going with this, but I can see how the emotional angle is going to play out for the benefit of growth and understanding. And it actually could be the key to some long-held issues being rectified. Now, I'm excited to see part 2 because we'll finally get to watch the Sekai Taikai, and because this is the best of the best from around the world competing, I'm really hoping for the energy and the fervor that the All Valley tournament created in the original Karate Kid movie. So overall, the first half of the 6th season of Cobra Kai continues down the familiar path of over-dramatizing youth martial arts while creating avenues for young and old to learn and benefit from difficult situations. This isn't the cheesy level of an afternoon special, but the series does contain some cringy or eye-roll moments thanks to ridiculous situations and unrealistic interactions. You don't get this far into the show, though, without already understanding the tone and tenor of the production. So if you've been good with the lighthearted soap opera dramatics so far, this season will continue with reinforcing its positive values. A lot of the dialogue is forced and unnatural, creating understandable conversations that don't ring of truthful interactions. The series continues to shine in its fight choreography and stunt work. The moves are fast, complex, powerful, sometimes vicious, all working to accentuate anxiety and tension. And even though the older actors can't move as quickly in the action sequences as their young counterparts, they deliver charming fun in an accessible way. There's no sex or nudity, some profanity, and then a ton of violence. I give Season 6, Part 1, that's a lot, of Cobra Kai, 3.5 out of 5 couches. Now I hope the second part can finish strong, or else we may just have to sweep the leg. Alright, so in this show, who is your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.